Hi guys, it's Claire. Just thought I'd film a really little video for you today, just about how I do my home printing, how I print from at home. I quite often get asked about how I do all my printing. I, more often than not, well, I'd say 99% of the time, print everything myself. There's the odd thing that I send off and get a batch of photos printed for me, very rarely nowadays. But I have done occasionally, if we've just come back from, say, a big holiday for America and I've got 500 photos, instead of editing them all down and printing them myself, if I get a special offer with some sort of online print service, I may send off and get them sent back to me. I have to say though, I'm never super impressed with the quality of those. I actually think that printing at home, I get a nicer quality of print. So what I've been working on, since we've all been in this lockdown and stuck indoors, if you follow me over on Facebook, you see that I've rigged up a tiny little crafty desk. I mean, literally a tiny little crafty desk. It's this size. This used to be an old dressing table of Sophie's, and I've rigged it up with my Mac here and my printer here, and I've been working in this space. I have got a dining table behind me, but we've kept that clear. But yeah, rigged up a little corner with my Mac, so I've been editing all my South Africa photos and my printer and a few other supplies. So basically I've been working on this album. This is going to be my South Africa scrapbook album. This page is front page I actually done at the studio, so this is, we've got thickers and we've got embellishments and things on here, which I don't have any of that at home. I printed out this map from Google Earth, and this is all these little key points of places that we actually visited when we were on holiday, and I printed that out as a 12 by 12. So although that's a decorated page, and so is actually this one half finished, the rest of them I've literally just been printing out photos since we've, oh, tell a lie, I did stick those stickers on at the studio before, but you'll see the ones where all I've done basically is printed, put them into this album, ready for when we do get back to the studio. I've obviously got all my embellishments to hand, and I can, you know, decorate every single page. So I'm just going to show you all the pages that I've done. I've been editing all these photos, getting them at the sizes that I want, and then printing them out here. I use a mixture of, I like the Adobe products, so I use Lightroom and Photoshop. I'm not a massive fan of edited photos. I like to keep them really natural. So I take them into Lightroom to enhance the contrast slightly and the exposure slightly. And then I'll put them in Photoshop if I want to do something like I saw on here. Say if I want to add this font at the front, so that's done in Photoshop. So I've written that in Photoshop and printed it out on the photo. That's about all I do. I'm not a massive fan, as I say, of anything that's overly edited, so I try and keep them as natural as possible. But yeah, so I'll give you a flip through of this, and then I'll tell you about the printer that I use, the ink that I use, and the paper that I use, and I'll show you a comparison as well. So, as I say, first page was just a map screenshot from Google Maps where I've highlighted the pages that we've got and I've printed it out 12 by 12. Next page is my big seal. This was one of the first days of our holiday. We saw this seal on a beach that we were on. So again, just a photo. All the 12 by 12 photos are ones I think have been taken on my proper camera. So I use a Canon DSLR camera. So I've got a 7D Mark II, I think it is. And I did hire a really nice big lens. And I've also got a couple of nice lenses as well. So when we were in South Africa, I hired a really nice big lens, which I managed to get some of the photos on. So really pleased with my setup when we were over there. So obviously they print out nicely on 12 by 12. If it's just a photo that I've taken, for example, on my vlogging camera that I had, which again is a little Canon camera, it's a G7X Mark II, I think, then that's fine to print out in 6 by 4. It will also do bigger pictures, but you'll lose some quality. So to do a 12 by 12, really, you do need to have a proper DSLR. And of course I have my iPhone on me as well, so I take some iPhone photos, but I wouldn't print those out large. But anyway, so I'll give you a flip through. You can see the sizes. I've got 6 by 4 landscape. I've done this 6 by 12. We've got a 7 by 5 here, more 6 by 4s, 6 by 4s and 4 by 4s. This day, actually, I think all was completely done on my vlogging camera. It wasn't my big camera at all, so that's why there's no big photos. We went up Table Mountain, lots of photos. And this was my big camera, my main camera, so the view from the top of Table Mountain. The safari, we went on a safari and I got this lovely picture of a lion again on my proper camera, so it was a 12 by 12. Lots here, all the animals. My nice camera is able to zoom in, so this snake it wasn't that far from us, it was probably a couple of metres. We got off of we were on like this safari jeep thing, and we managed to get off and take photos of this snake, but he was still quite a long way away, and I could zoom right in and get a good photo of him, and the clarity on that is actually brilliant. I'm really impressed with that. Yeah, so just more snapshots, 6x4s, 4x4s. As I say, none of this album has been decorated. All these spaces and that here will be embellished and have journaling and stuff written on them. My horse riding day. Here's a little smaller bit where we went to a cave. These are general photos. Lots of 6x12s, I like these, or 12x6s. These big ones in the album. Another one there. Again, I've got spaces for titles and wording and embellishments and things. Oh, there was missed a little small one in there, but same thing, photo printing. We've got more. These were actually all done on my vlogging camera. These were all screenshots taken from the vlogging camera. I didn't actually take any photos at all. I've literally just screen captured bits from the vlogging camera, and I didn't even vlog this. Me and Alan were actually in the shark cave, and someone else, I gave them my camera and they were filming for me, so I just got the best photos that I could while we done the shark cage diving. So they came out well, considering, as I say, they were screen captures for a video. They're fine. They're okay to print at 4x4, but you certainly wouldn't get a big 12x12 from them. These ones, another nice big 12x12 that I printed. Sorry about the glare here, I'm trying to hold it so you can get it better. But a nice big 12x12, again, this photo was taken on my proper camera. We've got an A4, obviously this page isn't finished, it's going to be on there somewhere decorated. And then a 7x5, again, this photo is going to be up here. And I plan to stamp, I've got a big zebra stamp, so I plan to decorate that as a scrapbook page and do it nicely. Obviously this will be around the right way. My bird photos, really pleased with this day. This was a day I did have my proper big camera on me, so I managed to get some nice photos. It was quite good fun hunting down the birds in the woods. That was really good, but I'm pleased with how all the pictures came out, considering this was really quite a wild place. To spot these little birds was quite hard, let alone get a photo of them. So yeah, pleased with that. But they all come out, the colours are lovely, really nice and vivid and super crisp. I know you won't see it on camera, but the clarity on this, his eye is just perfect. So I'm really pleased with that. One of the elephants, so small pictures this side. These were done mainly on vlogging camera. Alan's actually holding my bigger camera here, so I'm holding the vlogging camera. And then this is done on big camera with the big lens that I hired. So I hired a 400mm lens, so I had a really nice Canon lens. Same with this one, just a nice view. More 6x4s, this is mainly all big camera. Big camera sunset at the end, more 6x4s here. So that is it, that's what I've been working on since we've been in lockdown, is basically editing all those photos and putting them into this album. But the video, as I say today, is more about what I use and why I use it. So as I say, I've got the cameras that I've just told you about. The printer that I use is a Canon IP8750, which I'll link down below for you if I can find it online somewhere. It's an A3 Plus printer, so it can do, well, A3 Plus obviously, which is I think 13 by 19 inches. I only really use that because I want a full 12x12. So unless you have the A3 Plus, I think I'm right in saying you can't get a full 12x12. You have to put it in at 13 inches and then chop it to 12x12. So that's why I brought that and got that. I will only ever use in it the genuine Canon inks. So these are the inks that I buy, proper genuine Canon Pixma inks. It actually takes another ink cartridge as well. It takes like a jumbo black one. So I have tried compatible inks in the past, they're just not as good. If you're printing things just like backing papers or just normal Word documents, compatible inks are fine. I've tried them for photos and they're just not as good. It's up to you, obviously each their own, up to you if that's what you want to use. But for me, I love my photos, love my photography. I will only work with proper Canon inks. Paper wise, I try and stick, I pull this in, it's quite large, I try and stick to using Ilford, which is super expensive. You can get it on Amazon sometimes for a little bit less than buying it at the photography shops, but it's still a pricey paper. So I've got this one here, which is my A3 Plus paper. Sorry, I can't get it on screen the right way around. So it's Premium Plus glossy paper, A3. yeah, just Ilford premium paper. Really, really nice. So this, as I say, is what I use to get my 12x12s out of. Obviously the little bit that I cut off the side I then can cut down to get 2 6x4s out of, so it doesn't get wasted. It's just that I have to chop into this. This is quite expensive. I think this works out, off the top of my head, I think it works out £1 or 2 a sheet. I can't quite remember. This pack lasts me a long time. There are 20 pieces in here, but obviously I don't do that many 12x12, so I do invest in that and really, really love it. And then same for the other papers, I use Ilford. I've got the Premium Plus Pearl and Photo Plus Satin. Both of them I like, both really, really nice. Not a huge difference in the quality of these. You don't really notice a difference between the Pearl or the Satin. So I'm quite happy to mix and match those. To be honest with you, I buy whatever one I can get on Amazon at a better price at the time. I couldn't get either of those at the minute. These boxes are actually empty. Since I've been here and printed these, I've killed both these packets of paper. I did order this one on Amazon the other day, which I'd never had before. Again, obviously still Ilford, but this is the Omnijet Studio. This is a 5x7, I'm just reading it on the side, it's got all the info here. 5x7 paper, 100 sheets, 250 GSM. Again, a professional inkjet media. And I found that to be really, really good. So that's my inks, that's my paper. When you do your printing, make sure you always adjust your settings so that you're getting everything on the highest printing quality that your printer can do. And that's it really, that's my setup. So full Canon A3 Plus printer, Canon paper, Canon ink, sorry, and Ilford paper is my favourite. I do sometimes switch to Canon paper if I know I'm just going to do normal small photos. For example, if I was just going to make a little mini album. Oh, actually I've got some up here, I'll see if I can show you, bear with me. So these photos here, I know I've printed them out, they're the bird photos again, but I've printed them all out on 7x5s, 4 per page, because I want to make a little album with these, so just a little mini album. So they don't need to be big, they're still very, very good quality, but instead of using my Ilford paper, I've used just Canon paper. Still nice, no problem with it, still good quality, but not as nice as my main photos. But they're perfectly alright to print little photos like that. I'll try and give you an example here. I used, I'm just trying to find a photo. This photo here, let's see if I can get it out easy enough. Okay, so this photo here is still my same printer, still my big camera, so the best quality camera, my good printer, and Canon inks, but I've used HP paper. This is a bit crumpled and creased. I'm actually going to replace this photo. But if you can see, if it will focus, is it going to focus on that? There you go. You can see that the sky is just a little bit blotchy. Like, this colour isn't smooth and buttery. It's fine, overall the picture is fine, but it's not the best it can be. It is just fine, it is just okay. If anyone else was looking at that photo, I'm sure it'd be perfectly okay and no one else would notice it. But if I compare it to one, and this is a bigger photo, so remember this has been blown up more. See if I can get it out. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it out to show you easily. It's stuck in there, doesn't want to come out. There you go. So if you look at the blue on this, let's see if they focus. Obviously it's a different day, so the blue is a different colour, the sky is a different colour, but you can just see the smoothness of it. This is soft like butter and just perfect. Does that make any difference with the light on it like that? You can see that that's just perfectly smooth, no blotchiness, whereas this just looks a little bit blotchy. So that's the difference between using Ilford paper and Canon paper, which is still a good paper, but Ilford is just much, much, much better. So yeah, that was all I wanted to show you really, is just my sort of printing setup. And I'm not saying that the way that anyone else does it is right or wrong, or, that's just your way and that's cool. But as I say, I get asked a lot about my printing. And so I thought I'd share with you everything that I use. But yeah, definitely love my printing. As I say, very occasionally I send away and get things printed for me, but I have to say they come back more like this. When you send away for those, like, I don't know, Snapfish and that sort of thing, where they're doing the special, where you don't even sometimes pay for the prints, but you just pay for postage, they'll come back with this sort of quality. They don't come back with this sort of quality. So yeah, which is fine, as I say, if you're doing just a little mini album or something, but it's not good if you want it to be a real showcase of all your photos, and if you really, you know, really want to show your photos off. So hope you enjoyed that, hope it was useful to you. I will link everything that I can down below, so yeah, I'll try and link the printer and some of the papers. Maybe I'll just link you to the main Ilford site if I can, just so you can check out the range of papers and things. And yeah, that's it. Hope that's interesting for you. Fun to film a little video again, because I've been, as I say, stuck at home, not being able to get over to the studio. So yeah, I thought I'd get the camera out and film something for you. Hope you guys are all keeping really, really safe. And I shall see you very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.